Kids love to play, sometimes through team and individual sports activities. What happens when a cancer diagnosis comes into play and you have to keep yourself and your medical devices safe?
Just seeing her facial expression when she was able to do the stuff that she thought was originally dangerous, which is everyday kid activity. So just seeing how she reacted with it and the ability for her to be able to go out safely and feel like she was safer was extraordinary.
That's Nick Kemp, exercise physiologist with OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois. And I'm Shelley Dankoff, your host for OSF HealthCare Accelerated. We appreciate you tuning in and remind you to be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Nearly 16,000 children in the United States are diagnosed with cancer each year, according to the American Cancer Society. Prior to their diagnosis, many of them are very active, sometimes with sports activities. Some of them, as part of their treatment plan, have a medication port placed under the skin, typically in the upper chest, to provide easy and reliable access for administering medications, fluids, or drawing blood samples. But how do you keep that safe while still being active? That's where our guests come in. Nick Kemp is an exercise physiologist with OSF Healthcare Children's Hospital of Illinois, and Reed Jokish is an innovation engineer with the Jump Simulation Center. So you two teamed up to develop something called PortGuard. Simple name, sounds like it's a port, we need to guard it. As I understand it, this idea came from you, Nick, didn't it?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So it was kind of a collaborative effort between our team, but I knew that it was a need because parents would come to me and ask for some type of device to protect the port during sports, during activity. And I took a deep dive in looking for sports equipment out there. I couldn't find anything on the market. So I kind of created this makeshift plastic to cover the port, and I knew that I had to get it designed better and safer. So that's when I collaborated with the innovation team, and that's where this whole project started.
So let's back up half a step. So in your work as an exercise physiologist at Children's Hospital of Illinois, what all does that encompass, and what kind of patients are you seeing on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I'm seeing all the pediatric patients, hematology, oncology, at the Children's Hospital for a variety of different things. So I usually exercise with them if that's something that they want. I walk with them. I give exercise plans for strength training, endurance training. It's just kind of feeling out what their needs are and making sure that we can get them back to where they are normally. So
yeah, I imagine, especially with the older children who come in who are being treated for cancer or blood diseases, that's been a big part. And we all know normalcy is a huge thing as part of that cancer journey. So I'm guessing they come in and they think, I've already lost control over here, and now I'm losing control of this as well. Is that some of what you're dealing with?
Absolutely. The treatment kind of hits them and makes them kind of lose a couple steps with endurance and muscle. So that muscle loss is a big part of a lot of the side effects with their treatment. So trying to combat that and keep them as active as possible is the key.
So Reed, as an innovation engineer, let's start with what that means before we get into this whole collaboration. So what do innovation engineers do?
Yeah, we do quite a bit of different things, but so in this particular instance, we're working on prototyping, and we do that often. So Innovation Studio has an intake where anyone in the ministry can submit an idea, and if there's a physical prototype to be created, the innovation engineers, kind of come in at that point. Additionally, we do medical segmentation. So we take medical image data sets like MRIs or CTs, and we'll create those 3D models for pre-surgical planning typically, whether it's a 3D print or in virtual reality, so the surgeons can have a better idea of their patients.
So your hands are in a lot of things that come out of the Jump Simulation Center through the Innovation Studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you hear, Nick comes up with, and he's like, hey, I got this idea, what's the first thing that went through your mind?
As a former athlete myself, I connected with this project very quickly. First thing through my mind is that we have to create a prototype and get this to these patients so that they can continue with their athletics. Just knowing how important athletics are at that age really kind of hit home for me.
Were the two of you both surprised? Because like you said, you did some research to find something similar. Were you surprised you didn't find something?
I was. I thought that there was at least some type of equipment that would cover it completely, but a lot of the guards that are out are heart guards that just kind of cover the front of the chest, so it doesn't fully cover that area. And you're looking at like highly specific sports equipment for different sports that you would have to spend hundreds of dollars to try to get, and it's bulkier equipment, not kind of good for certain sports where you have to be
functional.
Yeah, where you have to be agile moving around. So
walk me through the development process. You know, we have what's sitting up in Nick's head and says, I need something for this. And then Reed goes, okay, let's try this. How long did this take? Walk me through the process.
Yeah, so on our initial meeting with Nick, he actually had a pretty good idea or concept of what he wanted to do here. He had found already a thermoplastic that I believe is used in MRI treatment. So it means that under high temperatures, it's moldable. So we could kind of mold it to the port. And then he knew that he wanted to disperse the pores through some type of padding. And as an innovation engineer, a lot of the things we create involve silicone. So we had that on hand already. So actually within the day of Nick submitting it, we kind of created a minimum viable product of what Nick was thinking so he could get his hands on it and start giving us feedback to kind of continuously iterate and improve. And we've continued to do that up until what's on the table today.
So when they came back a day later, I mean, I'm sure you'd been doing your research, you'd been looking at it and all that. And then a day later, are you like, wait, what? That fast?
Yeah, so going from my idea, and I had created like a small prototype that I came to them with the meeting. And so going from like my version to seeing what they had kind of created for me, it was definitely, it was encouraging to see what they were capable of, but it knew that they were in for like what I had proposed and like completely behind the innovation of it.
All right, so let's walk me through this. Show me this thing and how this works.
Yeah, so usually their implanted device has some form of indent under the skin. It just kind of depends on the size of the child. So this indent right here is designed to kind of cradle that so that they don't feel any impact. It's not going to tug on them. It's not kind of flush where it would kind of rub against it. Because that area is very sensitive, as you can imagine. But we also have some silicone backing, so it's got kind of a squishier back. So that is directly on the skin. It makes it more comfortable, makes sure the impact is dispersed and not directly on their skin. And then you can notice that there's a hard outer shell. But we've definitely changed the design just to the curvature and making it as comfortable as possible. We've adapted the straps to make these as comfortable as possible because we don't want any chafing,
Well, they're pretty wide and they seem very, well, and it's interesting to me because you have three sides and it goes kind of over an arm, doesn't it? Is that how it would slink?
Yeah.
Since this is an upper chest thing. Why don't you show me placement on you where this would kind of go?
Yeah, so this actually goes up like this. Through. Yep, let me go through here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Then, so this goes around the chest here.
Oh, okay. So no matter what side the port is on, it goes back and forth. And I'm guessing you make the straps suited to the child.
Yes.
And so it's custom made, if you will. Okay.
Yep, and so we have the adjustable strap right
Oh,
here.
wow.
So you would then pull it tight right here.
So what age children are using this right now? Is it all ages?
So right now we kind of have anywhere from age like 5 to 18.
Okay.
That's usually what demographic we are treating in the clinic. But we have tried to get a variety of different ages just to see how comfortable it is with younger kids. A lot of them don't necessarily want to wear anything like that. So trying to get as much feedback with the younger kids, and then more of the functionality of the older kids, which are in higher level of sports. So they're going to be moving around, doing the most activity. So just getting their feedback at that higher level is good.
Has it been interesting, Reed, from your perspective to watch it too? Because sometimes you'll get stuff and okay, you'll get for the planning modes for surgeons or whatever. And that's different than here's a child coming in and you're seeing them try this on. Has it been different for you and your team as well? Yeah,
absolutely. I think one of the most important things that we thought we knew going in, but like definitely learned throughout is that we don't experience this. We don't know what it's like to have that port. We can't look at this and think of how to improve it. We need the patients to tell us really what's going on, how it fits, how it feels, and how it's interacting with their port. And that type of feedback isn't something that we could get anywhere else.
So tell me about the first child you put this on. Was it, give me age and tell me a little bit about that.
So the original prototype, so before this, was a basketball player. He was very active. We got a lot of feedback, and when we originally had it, we didn't have the straps. So we knew just from feedback and how it was kind of slipping down and unable to be held, that's where we kind of knew that we had to get something to secure it. Once we got the straps, we had a 7-year-old girl try it, and just seeing her facial expression when she was able to do the stuff that she thought was originally dangerous, which is everyday kid activity. So just seeing how she reacted with it, and the ability for her to be able to go out safely and feel like she was safer was extraordinary.
Could you see like her face relax probably and just become like, oh, I can do this?
Yes, and the mom was definitely also more relaxed. So she had that safety as well. So you could see kind of the relief that she had, not knowing how the kids outside were playing with her, if they were getting too rough, if she wasn't able to always be there and watch them and kind of make sure that they were playing safe. This eases her worry with that, and she's expressed that.
So this is just even for kids just being kids. You're going to the playground and I want to go swing on the swings or do whatever with my friends. From a parental perspective, this is just that extra level of an extra layer of confidence that it'll be okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's just got to be such a great feeling. So right now, this is kid focused. Are we looking? Well, I also wanted to ask, any sports off the? What have been all the sports that you've tried? I'd be curious. Have any football players done this?
So I don't think we are completely off the table. It's something that we've obviously tested, like the strength and durability.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that the hardest hits are covered. With that, like with football gear, it does kind of have that shoulder pad. So it'd be interesting. We haven't had any football players use it, but it'd be interesting to see kind of like where it lands under the shoulder pad and see the comfortability, if it's actually needed. We've tested with basketball, overall just playing outside, like trampoline, running, biking, all of that has been tested so far.
I would think biking, because again, the risk of falling or something, that would probably be huge.
Yeah.
And so currently it's only pediatric patients, correct? What about adults? I mean, adults go through cancer treatment and get ports too, and they like to play contact sports sometime. Are there any hopes down the road that this may expand?
Absolutely. We definitely are looking to expand that route. I think right now with my job and working directly with pediatric patients, it's easier to get that feedback, but we are looking to expand with however many clinics and groups anybody who has an intravenous access. So the possibilities are vast.
How does it typically work with the Innovation Studio? You know, these prototypes come in and, I mean, ideally, you want this to go beyond the walls of OSF HealthCare. We want other healthcare systems, and because there's patients around the world that would benefit from this. How does that process work, and are we there yet with this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the innovation engineers are really focused on that prototyping side of things, but being a part of Innovation Studio, their main focus is commercialization. So there are subject matter experts kind of directly focused on the potential commercialization of all of the ideas that come through, and that is absolutely something we're evaluating with this.
And we'll see where it goes.
Exactly.
I also understand when they stop talking, that means, okay, we can't talk anymore about it right now. But it is exciting to look at it because there have been some great things that come out of OSF Innovation that have been commercialized to the benefit of patients everywhere. And something that seems so simple, like you said, how had nothing like this been developed before? But we'll do it here in OSF Healthcare. Thank you very much. That's what we will do. So before we wrap this up, when you look at this now, how long ago did this start, roughly?
Just over a year.
Yeah, I would say just over a year.
Yeah.
From where those first ideas came from and where you are now, final thoughts on, I'll start with Reed first, and I'll let the person who's really hands-on. Final thoughts on what this has meant to you and your team to be involved in this project.
Yeah, it's been an extremely impactful and rewarding project. I've been lucky enough to be with Nick and kind of on that initial delivery a couple of times, and those have been the best experiences for me. I know he's done it quite a few times, but the few that I've been there have been really impactful. They've hit home and kind of reinvigorated me to be working on this project and to keep improving it until we have something that we can just ship to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that where I started versus where I'm at in a year is extraordinary, and it's been such a fast process, and I couldn't have asked for more with the Innovation Studio and just how they've adapted to the feedback that I've given. We've worked as a team very well, and I couldn't ask for more.
I guess that's the other best, endorsement for, if you have an idea, that's what the Innovation Studio is there for. There's no idea that's too crazy, is there?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And I love how you say, it's a year and it's gone fast. I'm like, okay. But that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reed Jokish, Nick Kemp, thank you so much. And thank you so much for developing this.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us as well. And a reminder, you can catch all of the OSF Healthcare Accelerated podcasts online at osfhealthcare.org/accelerated.